Deep in an ancient forest, hidden beneath heavy layers of moss, sits a stone shaped exactly like a human being. This stone form belongs to Ahalya. For thousands of years, she has remained frozen here, serving a sentence for a crime she never committed. Long before she was stone, Ahalya lived in Rishi Gautam's ashram, located among the jagged, snow-capped peaks of the Himalayas, a remote environment built for the strict lives of the sages. While the sage dedicated every waking moment to his rituals, Ahalya was the physical center of the ashram. Tales of her devotion and presence eventually traveled beyond the mountains, reaching the heavens. In these myths, total devotion often acts as a magnet, drawing the gaze of those who seek to test or consume it. That gaze belonged to Devraj Indra, the king of the gods. The stories of Ahalya sparked a curiosity in him that quickly moved past admiration. This diagram illustrates a core concept, dharma. It is a rigid, cosmic boundary, keeping the affairs of the gods separate from mortals. As Indra's obsession grew, he pressed against this line, willing to fracture the universe's balance to satisfy his curiosity. Indra's decision forced a collision between his own impulse and the established order of the mortal world. The looming tragedy was set by two opposing forces, Rishi Gautam's total focus on truth and Indra's total surrender to his own ego. Indra knew he couldn't simply walk into the ashram. Rishi Gautam's spiritual presence was too formidable. Instead, he orchestrated a diversion to lure the sage away from his home. With Gautam gone, Indra used Maya, the power of cosmic illusion, to replicate the sage's physical form and voice with surgical precision. Disguised as the man Ahalya trusted, Indra entered the ashram. To any observer, the replica was perfect, but Ahalya's deep connection to the truth of her surroundings created an immediate internal friction against the god's magic. She sensed the subtle anomalies, a sudden restlessness in the forest, an unfamiliar look in his eyes, and a slight, unnatural shift in his tone. Rather than a passive participant, she questioned him directly, asking if he was truly her master, actively trying to see through the divine lie. Even with divine magic at his disposal, Indra could not fully replicate the familiar presence of the man Ahalya knew intimately. The deception ended the moment the real Rishi Gautam returned. His insight allowed him to see through the Maya, instantly exposing Indra's betrayal. Gautam first cursed Indra, stripping the god of his divine radiance as punishment for violating the boundaries of the mortal world. The sage then turned his gaze to Ahalya. Although she was the one deceived, she was made to carry the physical weight of the event. Gautam condemned her to remain here, frozen as a stone in the ashram. She would stay in this state for thousands of years, until the arrival of Rama. The curse began a period of total stillness, an existence where her only remaining faculty was the ability to wait. For centuries, Ahalya remained motionless, while the forest around her lived, died, and changed. She became part of a landscape that forgot her name. Eras later, Rama and Lakshman entered the ruins of that same ashram. The location was now a place of heavy silence and visible decay. Rama recognized the atmosphere of the clearing, sensing the history of the injustice that had occurred there ages ago. Rama stepped forward, and as his foot touched the stone, his presence broke the hold of the ancient curse. Rama's presence, defined by his commitment to restorative justice, provided the counterweight needed to break the god's old deception. As the stone dissolved, Ahalya returned to her human form, standing before the person who had ended her isolation. Rama acknowledged her endurance, naming her long isolation as a form of tapasya, an intentional spiritual persistence. By viewing her time as tapasya, her centuries of silence shift from a mark of shame into a testament of her resilience. With her restoration, the ashram itself returned to its former state, allowing Ahalya to finally reunite with Rishi Gautam. Ahalya's story suggests that even an unjust exile can be outlasted, and that truth eventually finds its way back to those who have been silenced.